In today's video, we're going to speak about flow versus force, and we're going to speak about how flow always beats force in life and in business. Because a lot of times in life, a lot of times in business, when people believe, they want something, they want to achieve something, they want to go for something, they think forcing is the way to do it. But one thing we need to understand today is that trying harder doesn't bring success, it brings burnout. Now, what do I mean by trying harder? Do I mean don't work, don't put in effort? Definitely not. So what do I mean by flowing and not forcing? So this is what we're going to speak about today. Before I get there, I want to ask you to like this video, to subscribe to our channel, help us to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. We do believe this content is going to help many people. So a lot of times people struggle to have success in a certain area, and a lot of times some people struggle to have breakthrough in a certain area. But what if the problem is not that you're not trying too hard? Because people make these statements and they said, but I'm trying so hard, I'm working so hard. What if the problem is that you are actually trying too hard? What if the problem is that you are trying to put in too much effort? Would you believe me if I tell you that if you do less, you will get more? A lot of times we hear the saying, less is more. Why is less sometimes more? Again, I want to put emphasis on this again. I'm not saying don't work hard. I'm not saying don't put in effort. But I am saying a lot of times trying too hard and forcing is doing the opposite of what you want. And the reason for that is trying too hard is desperation, and it's a part of fear. So when you have this fear of, I have to get results, I have to get success, I have to reach my goal, and you're doing it out of fear, it creates desperation. Now, all of us know when somebody tries to sell us something, or when somebody tries to do something and we see this, see this form of force, we see this form of desperation, we don't feel attracted, we feel repelled. And a lot of times we do it with other people when we are too forceful, when we are too adamant, when we try to do something out of fear, it doesn't attract, it pushes away because it is desperate, or it comes out of desperation. So there is a power in detachment. And what do I mean by detachment? Detachment is where the outcome doesn't really matter so much. And the reason the outcome doesn't really matter so much is you just have this belief that things are going to work out. If this client doesn't buy from me, the next client will buy from me. If this person doesn't want to date me, I will attract the right person who will eventually date me. So just think about somebody walking into a room and wants attention the whole time, wants praise the whole time. A great example we can use is a narcissist, because a narcissist is somebody that wants attention. They want to be the center of attention the whole time. The question is, does that person attract, or does that person repel? That person repels. So the person in the room who doesn't need attention, and the person in the room who's not desperate for attention, is normally the person that you are attracted to the most. And we're not necessarily speaking about romantic or sexual attraction. Even in business, in other areas of life, the person who's not desperate, the person who doesn't need attention, is normally the person we are most likely to go to, because they are not desperate. Now, force is desperate. Flow is not desperate. A person who's not attached to the praise of other people, a person who's not attached to the appraisal of other people, or wanting other people to like them, that person is not chasing, they are choosing. Now, I remember I read this book from Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. And he said in this book, power ultimately is the ability to choose. Now, a person who doesn't have the ability to choose, they are normally the person who forces. They are normally the people who are desperate. So what we have to do is we have to detach ourselves from the outcome. Obviously, we have to put in the effort. Obviously, we have to put in the work. But we have to detach ourselves from the outcome and just know that the outcome, if this person doesn't say yes, like I said earlier, the outcome will be good. Just think about an archer. The archer has a goal. The archer has an aim. The archer does the effort to pull back So therefore, we have to have a goal, we have to have an aim, we have to do the effort, but then we have to let go. The archer has to let go to hit the target. Now, a lot of times when people are desperate, when people try to force, they cannot let go and they're trying to hold on. But a lot of times it's in the letting go. A lot of times it's in the sense of like, I did what I could do, but I'm now at a point where I'm saying, listen, I'm going to let go. And this doesn't mean laziness. This doesn't mean don't do anything. It just means I've done what I could do. I'm going to let go. I'm not going to be desperate. I'm going to trust the outcome. It's like planting a seed. You cannot make the plant grow. You can plant the seed and you can water the seed, but you cannot make it grow. If you try to make it grow, you're trying to force it. Just think about a woman who becomes pregnant. Obviously, the seed has to be planted for a woman to be pregnant. And obviously, there's a lot of things that a woman should do to take care of her body. But the baby grows in the womb and it's a process. It's not something that can be forced. As soon as there's force, as soon as there's desperation, it can bring complication. I want to end with this. There's a law that they call the law of reversed effect. The law of reversed effect says the more you want something, the more you push it away. Now, this doesn't mean you shouldn't desire something. What it does mean is you shouldn't desire something out of desperation. And when we speak about force, desperation is the big word. The more you are desperate for attention, the more you are desperate to make the sale, the more you are desperate for the person to say yes to go on a date, the more you push away. But if you can just get to this place where you say, listen, I'm going to do what is humanly possible for me. I'm going to do it with a good attitude. Then I'm going to let go and allow the outcome to be the outcome. That is where we flow. And success happens much more when we do it from a place of flow than what we do it from a place of fear or force. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys soon again.